Hasbro. I praise you guys, but I also make videos where I'm not praising you guys. The yin and the yang of being a Hasbro toy collector, ladies and gentlemen. So, I saw TJ talking about this like a week or two ago. I figured I'd talk about it too because if y'all don't know me by now on this channel, I'm a big fan and advocate of the 2000s era and the late 90s era of Transformers getting the love and recognition that it deserves. The love and recognition that G1 has been getting for the past 20-something years now, which it sort of has been the past few years. We're making progress, we're making improvement, which has been pretty fantastic the past couple of years for the mainline generations. For you guys that don't know, I've been loving a lot of figures, buying them all. So I've been giving Hasbro praise, but there's times where I'm not, and this is kind of one of those videos. It's more of like a speculatory sort of discussion video, more than me hating on Hasbro per se, because they've done a lot of great things recently that I do really appreciate. But the whole lack of Beast Machines and Energon in the Generations line, especially when you're billing this new category or new subline, whatever you want to call it for Generations, called Legacy, that they started in 2022. They're doing all these figures for animated. They even threw in a Kiss Players alternate head with the animated Auto Troopers last year. I mean, we're getting freaking alternators slash Kiss Players in Generations at this point, which is freaking insane. I mean, yes, I don't want to ignore that we got the core class Energon, Megatron, and Beast Machines Cheetor. But come on, those are core class, and it's of characters that are pretty freaking safe. It's Megatron and Cheetor, some of the biggest names in the Transformers franchise. And core class at that, the cheapest option available, $10. Y'all know Megatron obviously deserves that leader class mold. Y'all know that Beast Machines Cheetor definitely deserves that either deluxe class or Voyager class budget. So I don't know, man. I mean, I could sort of understand from Hasbro's point of view where they're coming from with their whole lack of not really wanting to touch Energon or Beast Machines that much in the modern era. Beast Machines was not loved when it first came out back in 2000. The toy sales were not high at all. A lot of fans didn't like the show to begin with, which that's a different discussion. And with Energon, it's pretty much the same thing, but the toys did sell pretty well from what I've heard and from what I remember back then. The toys did sell pretty good. Not as good as Armada, but it was still a good profit for them, I think. And the toy line wasn't even bad either, like Beast Machines was. The Energon toy line, if you look at those figures and you look at the play patterns, the gimmicks, the features, it was actually really good, especially for that time. The Autobots, every single one of them basically, except for the Scout class or whatever it was called back then, were combiners. You could combine them, you could do whatever with them. It was fantastic. It's really cool, and you don't see that stuff today except for those wacky gimmick Earthspark figures that really aren't too great. Which I did see TJ talking about how that might be them testing the waters for the Energon figures in the gimmick with Energon, which I don't know. I don't know how true that is. I mean, that's just him speculating, but me personally, I don't know if I believe that per se, if we're speculating here. But who knows? Hasbro is pretty weird with their decisions sometimes. So it may be the case, it may not be, I don't know. But the toy line for Energon was pretty freaking great. The gimmicks and the Decepticons, the Decepticon gimmicks weren't the greatest. I mean, you did have the... What was that feature called where the flip-out, spring-loaded, clear plastic Energon weapons came out with the Decepticons? I forgot what that was called, but that was pretty much the gimmick for the Decepticons, and it was okay, clear plastic, I wouldn't really do too much with that, but, there was still a lot of great things going on in the Energon toy line, and a lot of really, really nice designs. I mean, sitting right here in front of my table while I'm recording this video is the Energon Deluxe Class Slug Slinger. If you guys have never handled this figure, or if you've never seen it before, I just recently got this guy last week, and he is a great figure, especially for standards back in 2004. He holds up pretty well. I mean, there's still some things that are a bit awkward because, it's a figure from 20 years ago. And speaking of 20 years ago, Energon came out in 2004. I mean, what the hell? It's the 20th anniversary of Transformers Energon. So where's their celebration of figures? If you guys look at the listings for next year, we're getting a whole freaking subline for Cybertron and Galaxy Force because it's the 20th anniversary of that series next year. A whole Walmart subline with like 5-6 deluxes, a Voyager or 2, and a freaking leader class. A whole nother line, a subline for the 20th anniversary of Cybertron. Now, that's great. That's well-deserved. I freaking love Cybertron. It's one of my favorite Transformers cartoons of all time. They're ignoring the middle child of the Unicron trilogy, and I'm not here for it, people. It's this year's 20th anniversary. The Energon Megatron and the Energon Galvatron repaint coming out later this year. Do not cut it. 2 core class figures out of the 40-something, 50-something generations figures they're releasing this year is unacceptable. We needed at least, I don't know, a leader class Megatron, some sort of random deluxe class figure like, I don't know, maybe Hotshot or what's a good deluxe they could do? Maybe Snowcat or Mirage. I don't know, just something cool, something different that we haven't gotten for decades, literally. It would have been nice to get a subline, as, I don't know, a Target subline, Walmart or Amazon subline for the 20th anniversary of Energon, because they could have remolded Kingdom Galvatron into Energon Megatron, could have remolded Shattered Glass Slicer into Energon Downshift, because they already have the weapons for Downshift. They could already just use the Wheeljack mold, give him a new head sculpt, or maybe remold a couple parts on the body to make it look a bit more like Energon Downshift, but in reality it really is just G1 Wheeljack with a few design tweaks renamed as Downshift if you wanna look at things the way it is, you know. They could also use the Prime RC figure from 2 years ago, that the Flame War version of it from Shattered Glass, which is a reference to Energon RC, which was a repaint into Flame War back in the day when Shattered Glass first started. So that whole mold in itself is basically a reference and an amalgamation of Energon RC and Prime RC. There's design cues for both of them, especially if you're talking about the Shattered Glass Flame War version. So they easily could have repainted that mold into Energon RC, give her a new head sculpt, and boom, we have a new Energon RC. And I wouldn't be mad at that at all, because again, it looks kind of similar to Energon RC. You could take the Siege Ironhide mold and potentially, I don't know, repaint it or remold it into a Cybertronian Snowcat if you really want to get creative, sort of like what they did with Towline last year. So there's options here for new Energon figures that don't even have to be new molds. Hasbro doesn't even have to spend that much money on a new mold for a lot of these Energon updates that they could pump out right here, right now. I don't understand it. You know, it's just weird to me that this whole new era and generations of wanting to do everything and how everything is on the table and how they want to try different things and make new characters that haven't been done in years or decades, basically. The fact that they just don't want to touch Energon and Beast Machines. Beast Machines, you know, there's not really a whole lot of options for repaints or remolds. You could count Magmatron sort of as a Beast Machines redo, because here in the US he was released under the Beast Machines toy line. So I guess him, Cheetor, which I'm not too mad at Core Class Cheetor, because he is supposed to be more in scale with the G1 characters, because if you guys remember, the Beast Wars and Beast Machines characters are supposed to be much, much smaller than the G1 counterparts from the original 84 cartoon. So that kind of works for me in that sense, you know, and it does scale better with the Deluxe Class Thrilling 30 Tankor. I have those two together on my shelf, and they look great together. And if you want to go even further, he scales better with some of the Deluxe Class Viacons and some of the other Deluxe Class characters from the original Beast Wars toy line. So I'm not too mad at Core Class Beast Machines Cheetor, but again, it would have been nice to see more Beast Machines, like at least 1 or 2 other Beast Machines figures. I mean, we've only gotten the Cheetor, Magmatron, if you want to count him, kinda, and T-Rex 3 years ago, who was a Target exclusive, which was just a repaint of Kingdom Megatron. Those are the only 3, or pretty much only 2 figures that we've gotten the past few years for Beast Machines. And if you want to go back even further, you could count Tankor, but that was over 10 years ago now at this point, so that doesn't really matter too much. Next year would be the 25th anniversary for Beast Machines, so it'd be nice to maybe do at least 1 or 2 new Beast Machines figures. Like, I don't know, maybe give us a new Deluxe Class Rat Trap, or a new Voyager or Leader Class Optimus Primal, or a new, I don't know, just something, a new Jetstorm. I mean, people love Jetstorm. He's been modernized a couple times, in the comic books, in animated. I mean, people really like the character of Jetstorm, so especially with them doing Silverbolt this year, it would make sense to make the evolution of Silverbolt, which is Jetstorm. So just something next year for the 25th anniversary would be nice, but it seems like it's not too likely. I mean, we've gotten a lot of exclusives leaked already. We've gotten pretty much almost the whole main line for next year leaked for Generations Prime. So it's not looking likely that Beast Machines is getting much or pretty much any celebration for their 25th anniversary next year. So it's so weird that they're just glossing over, Energon and Beast Machines. But hey, what are you going to do? I don't know, man. Hopefully we just get more Energon and Beast Machines characters in the future, because especially for Energon, there's a lot of cool designs that would be very, very cool to see in the modern era, redone with good articulation and good engineering. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about the lack of Beast Machines and Energon characters getting redone in the Generations line for the modern era? All my social medias are linked down below. My email is also down below if y'all want to hit me up about business inquiries, or if you want to message me about whatever. Or if you want to subscribe to a new Patreon down below, it's got tons of exclusive content that you won't see here on YouTube or anywhere else, such as exclusive stop motions, Transformers photography. You guys get 1 week access before everybody else here on YouTube to my stop motion films. You guys get Discord access. You guys get exclusive music and music snippets from my stop motion films. So if you guys want to help support me and help support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye!